Hello, good evening. Good evening, students. A very warm welcome to the Unacademy Learning app. Today I will teach you the poem My Mother at 66. This is from your Flamingo book textbook, class 12. Hello, sorry. Yeah, you will have access to all the different courses on the Unacademy. So on the Unacademy, you have various kinds of facilities here. So here you see students on the Unacademy. You can you can see that there are the plus features. You can learn live from the comfort of your home. Hello, hello students. Hello students, hello learners. Welcome to the Unacademy Learning app. Today I will teach you the poem My Mother at 66 from your Flamingo textbook, class 12. So here you see my name is Nupur Roy. I am an English educator on the Unacademy, and here I will just give you a little briefing about the Unacademy. It is one of the best platforms on for education in India, and here you get access to all kinds of subjects, all the subjects, many courses on the Unacademy. So here, uh, on the plus features, learners, if you are not taking subscription, you can see the different advantages on the plus feature. On the if you are taking the subscription of the plus feature, you are learning live from the comfort of your home, unlimited access to all courses, the top educators, you are getting classes from the top educators of India, and here you are also getting the exhaustive coverage of syllabus. The exhaustive coverage of syllabus is there. Regular doubt clearing is there. Good evening, study corner. Good evening, dear. Good evening. Regular doubt clearing sessions are there. Live test series are performed. Learners can assess themselves on the live test series. Now, the regular half yearly live test series are going on for the various subjects on the CBSE board for the preparation of the CBSE board examination. The study material is provided, and then you are also having the different mentorship also. On the plus features, you also get daily practice section, weekly mock tests. So all these are going on in the Unacademy Plus feature. Now you can see that class 11 science commerce, the complete syllabus batches are taken by the top educators of India. They are putting in their best lectures for the different classes of the complete syllabus batches of 2021. Next, you see that Science and Commerce Class 12 complete syllabus is batches are going on of 2021, and they have started from the different life complete courses, the test series. They are all starting on the various days. The timetable is given here, and students get all the practice here. In class 11, Science and Commerce NCRT weekend batches are going on by the different top educators here. Class 12, Science and Commerce NCRT weekend practices are going on here. You can see here. Then the revision batches for Science and Commerce is going on. The difference revised batch for Science Semester 1 for Class 12 CBSE, Science Semester 1 revision batch in Hindi. The classes are being taken in Hindi, which will be comfortable for many of you. Of course, practice paper batches are also there. Practice paper batches are also there for Science and Commerce. In Hindi, they are being taken on. Then the newly added portion, the courses on the newly added Humanities Plus course is also there. In the newly Humanities Plus courses, you get political science, the subjects you see, the political science, the different subjects like history, geography, economics, sociology, psychology, all these subjects, English, and your optional subjects are also being taught on this Unacademy Humanity Plus courses. So here you see on the Humanities Plus courses featured educators, there are the top educators in the various subjects. The expert in Hindi and political science is there. Then you have geography, then you have sociology, geography, you have history. You can also take up sociology. Expert on history, Nikki ma'am is there. Ravi Kashyap sir is there, economics. Mayank Agrawal sir is there for economics. Priya Jain, economics. And Rishab Jolly for expert in economics. All these top educators are teaching you. Featured educators in different subjects you are can avail the lectures of all these teachers. Now, if you want to attend to my class, you have you can also attend my class. I am taking in Humanities Plus course. I am taking classes for class 11, writing experience, writing skills, and grammar. I am taking. So you can take the Plus subscription and come to my class and attend. Then, if you are taking the subscription, it's a very economical fees, economical on the Plus Academy course that it is. You are paying only 22,500 for 24 months, and if you put my referral code NUPUR10, you can get a discount of 10%. Now here, after this, you see that you can also use the referral code for the 12th subscription where it is only 13,500 for 12 months. And if you use the referral code NUPUR10, then get a 10% discount on your Unacademy Plus subscription. Okay, now today we do the chapter My Mother at 62 by Kamala Das. Here you see, students, the poem My Mother at 66 is a is a poem written by Kamala Das. Hello. Now the poem you see, My Mother at 66, the poem as it is. First, students, you must read the poem very nicely. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me doze, open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. But soon put that thought away and looked at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport's security check, standing a few yards away. So, after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. All I did was smile and smile and smile. Hello, Narendra. Hello, Satyendra. Hello. Hello, all of you. Hello. All right. I'm explaining in English. Okay. Now, Binod, now please don't ask such questions. Keep the dignity of the class. You have come to follow the poem, no? Let's do the poem. See, Satyendra, this is a class in English, but I will try to tell you some words in Hindi also. I will try. Okay. Yes. Okay, come to the class. Come to the poem. I hope you have the book. So here you see, students, this is a poem which is only in one full sentence. There are no stanzas in this poem. Right, students? There are no stanzas in this poem. Only one sentence is used. The whole poem is one sentence without any stanzas. You understand stanzas, no? For different poems, you see there are stanzas, one stanza, two stanza, three stanza. Together they are written in that way in a poem. But this poem, it is only in one full sentence the whole poem finishes. Now we come to a little introduction of Kamala Das. Kamala Das was born on 31st March 1934 in Kerala. In Kerala, she was born and died May 31st, 2009 in Pune, India. Das was part of a generation of Indian writers whose work centered on personal rather than colonial experiences. Now, students, what do you understand this by this? Kamala Das, the poet's work, was part of a generation of Indian. She was an Indian writer. She was from Kerala. So she was of the generation of Indian writers, and her work centered on her personal experiences, her personal issues, rather than on colonial experiences. The colonial experiences, why is it mentioned? Because in 1934, what happened? Kamala Das, when she was born, at that time, India was under the rule of the British. India was a colony of the British. Okay. So at that time, many writers, poets, they used to write on the theme of colonial experiences. That is what all system was there when India was a colony of Britain before 1947. But what did she write? She wrote about only her personal issues, her personal problem. And her short stories, poetry, memoirs, and essays brought her respect. So she wrote short stories, poetries, memoirs, essays, all was written on some kind of personal issue. No colonial experience was there, no colonial uh, story or any kind of poem was there. And Das, that is Kamala Das, wrote both in English. Poetries were written in, mostly poetries were written in English and under the pen name Madhavi Kutti. So she wrote under the pen name. Pen name means a writer or a poet takes up a name to write some work, some poetry, some story, some work or poetry, and they take up a name. So what name Kamala Das took? She took, hello Pritish, hello, hope you are following. Ask me the doubts in the end. Every details I will be giving, word meanings, everything I will give you. So she wrote under the pen name Madhav Kutti and Madhavi Kutti, and she also wrote in the Malayalam language of southern India. She was of Kerala and she also wrote in Malayalam language as well as English language. It's okay. It's okay, dear. Students will see the recording also. Next, you see, she was a feminist. Her subject matter is basically related to her personality, beautiful, sensitive, bold, and tormented. So, Kamala Das was a feminist, means she was a writer who used to write on feminine, on women's problem, women issues. And her all the poetry, all the subject matter, they were related to some kind of her personality, which were beautiful, sensitive, bold, and tormented. What is the meaning of tormented? That means tormented means the suffering of women. So she was a feminist writer. External factors do not reflect in her writings. External factors means any issue of outside of the society, of the British rule at that time, nothing reflected in her writings. What all she wrote, what was the subject matter? Now, this can come in your MCQ, students. So, what subject matter was her poetry? It was only about her own self and about the different kind of women issue. So her writings bring out her true inner feelings. That is, she was a confessional. Confessional means when you confess, when you tell very honestly about your own self. That is called confessional. So her true inner feelings, the confessional part is always expressed in her work. Okay. That is, she wrote in a confessional mode. She was not hesitant to accept her inner feelings, even if they went against societal wrongs. That is, she was never hesitant. That is, she never stopped or she never uh, denied to accept what she wrote about what she wrote. She accepted that she wrote on her inner feelings, even if those feelings were against the society's norms, means society's rules. Okay, next you see. Now the word meaning, all the keywords I have given you. Okay, students, you can see the keywords. First word in the first few lines you see doze. Doze means a short light sleep. When you doze off, when you are short sleep. Ashen. Ashen means very pale, very dull color. You know what is ash? Ash is what you call in Hindi rak. So the face of the mother was like ashen. It was like a very pale color. Right? Corpse. Corpse means a dead body. Right? Corpse means a dead body. Sprinting. Sprinting here means shooting out of the ground. What is sprinting? Sprinting means to grow out of the ground, shoot out of the ground. All right. Next, you see spilling. Now you see all the words I have given the word meanings. Spilling here to move out in great numbers. So what is the expression here in the poem? The expression is merry children spilling. Means the happy. Merry means what? Happy, full of fun and frolic. Happy children all spilling means happy children all coming out in big numbers. All coming out in great numbers. Van. Now, next page you can see on page number 91, the word van is used. W-A-N. The word van is used means unnaturally pale as from physical or emotional distress. When a person becomes van, when a person becomes pale, when he has some kind of physical distress, means physical pain, some kind of emotional pain, then the face becomes wan, W-A-N, means pale. Ache, ache means pain. You have stomach ache, you have headache, all these are what? Pain. So this word is also used in the poem. Next you see. Now the explanation of the poem. Now as the poem starts, learners, you just see the poem starts with this line. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. Those open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain. So, in the poem, that is My Mother at 66, what does the poet write? The poet writes about her mother at the age of 66. So, what is the age of the mother? She is 66 years old. Okay. Now, the poem expresses a beautiful relationship of the mother and daughter. Now, all these points are asked in your MCQ. What is the poem expressing? It is expressing a beautiful relationship between the mother and daughter. Who is the daughter? The daughter is Kamala Das, who is writing about her mother, who is at the age of 66. Next, you see, after this poem has a unique feature of being written in one single sentence. All right, the whole poem is written in one single sentence. Oh, Pritesh, thank you, dear, thank you. Children see after the recording, also many are not free now. They all see the recording. You please follow. Thank you. If you have doubt in any place, please ask me again. Huh? Put a doubt, I will clear it. All right, so what I was telling you here, the poem is written in, this is an unique feature of being written in one single sentence. Okay. Now, the poet is famous for writing about her inner feelings, the internal feelings, and no external factor is depicted. So, in the MCQ, will be asked, what kind of feeling the poet Kamala Das expresses. You'll be given four options. In those four options, you will be given, suppose, what kind of feelings, that is, feelings of sadness, feelings of happiness, feelings of inner feeling, feelings of colonial experiences. No. What will be the answer? The third one, the C one, that is inner feeling. So please go through the entire notes very carefully so that you can ask. MCQs are very mark scoring. But children, you remember that they are testing you in every small detail of it. Milan, hello dear, hello. Please ask me when you do have doubts. So what I was telling you, so she writes about the internal feelings and no external factor is depicted. Now here in this poem, here you see, here in this poem, the poet was driving from her parents' home in Cochin. And what was the day? It was on a Friday. Where was she going? She was going to the airport. Now you see the line of the poem, driving from my parents' home to Cochin. Okay. Last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. So what was she doing? The poet was driving from her parents' home in Cochin. Where was her parents' home? It was in Cochin, that is in Kerala. To on a Friday, and where was she going to? The airport. Now the MCQ can be asked that which state did Kamala Das belong? Okay. Hello, study only. Hello, dear, hello. So, this question can be asked that which state does Kamala Das belong to? She belongs to Kerala. Which city? Cochin. Yes, Cochin. Okay. So here in this poem, you can understand parents' home was in Cochin. It was which day? It was Friday, and she was driving to the airport. Her mother was beside her, who had dozed open mouthed and sorry, who had dozed open mouthed, and her face was as dull as ash. So how was her mother? In what state was her mother? She was, yes, Arpita. It is Kerala, and the city is Cochin. Be thorough with the MCQs, children. You will be getting full marks, and you can very easily get above 90% in English. So her mother was beside her, who had dozed open mouthed, and her face was, how was her face? As dull as ash. See the line. I saw my mother beside me, dozed open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse. So, as dull as ash. I told you what is ash? Ash is in Hindi we call rak. Now she looked like what? She was very dull. Her face was very dull. Yes, what, what do you ask? Study only. What can I do? Yeah, what are you asking? Study only. You are repeating the same line. You are repeating the same line, dear. What is it? I know. Please ask. What do you want to ask? What one thing? If I can do, I'll definitely do. Where did he vanish? Yes, children, please follow. So her face was as dull as ash, and her face was ashen like a corpse. Now, in the poem, you see, students, in the poem, you see, it is her face ashen like that of a corpse. This is a simile. Simile. All right, simile. Next, you see here. Uh, as ashen as like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old. So the what does the poet understand? That the mother looked like a corpse, and then the poet thought that her mother looked as her age was. That is, she realized. Realization is what? That you understand that this is the fact. So she realized that she looked as old as she was. So after this, actually, the daughter is feeling sad that the mother is getting old and she will lose her mother. Death is inevitable. No, death will come to every person. So the poet Kamala Das is afraid that her mother is of the age of 66 and she is looking as pale as ash and like a corpse, and she will therefore, and after that she of course realizes that the mother was looking as her age was. So, at this moment, what happened? So, to divert herself, so to just draw her attention to something else, what she did, she looked out of the window and saw what? Young trees running past. So, here in the book, you see, what did she see? And she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away. Means she wanted to divert herself and looked out, means out of the window of the vehicle she was driving. She looked out at young trees sprinting, means young sprinting means what? Running. When do you sprint? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Pritish, I will definitely tell you personification, everything. I will tell you every literary device. I will tell you. So here, you see here, divert herself, and when she saw outside, out of the window, she saw young trees sprinting, means young trees running past. Sprinting means to run. And next word you see, the merry children spilling. What else she saw out of the window? Happy children running out of their houses. Here you see, happy children running out of their houses and playing. So they were all happy children running running out of their houses, and they were playing. That is merry children spilling. When you get the spilling word, spilling means what? फैल जाना. You in Hindi you say no, all बिखर जाना. You spill the beans. This is an idiom. You spill the beans means all the beans of the peas you just you it can drop on the ground and it can be spilled. It can spread all over. All right. So children spilling means children coming out in great numbers. But how are they? They are they are the very happy children. They are the merry means what? Happy. Merry children spilling. And this shows the energy and cheerfulness in life. Now, on the one hand, students, just you see, this is you where you think that is a very small poem, but there is such a lot of explanation. You understand it. That is, on the one hand, in the with the poet Kamala Das, her mother is sitting and they are driving to the airport. They are going towards the airport. And the mother is what? She's looking like a corpse means dead body. And on the other hand, out of the window, what does the poet see? The poet sees life, the trees sprinting, the merry children spilling. The poet, she sees life out of the window. So, what is this whole life on this earth? That there people die, but of course, there is always life on earth. There is newness on the earth. So, what is the poet wanting to express? That the life goes on. After old leaves, new plants also come up. Children forms what? The next generation children. What? They are the next new life on the earth. So, how beautifully the poetess Kamala Das has written. Though she was feeling sad for her mother, who was at the age of 66. And yeah, yeah, dear. Milan? I will explain you why it is. I'm coming to that line. That is a very nice explanation of the winter season. So here, the old mother is like a corpse, but outside the window, the poet Kamala Das sees that life goes on, young leaves come on the trees, and children also form new generation of life. Now they reached the airport. After this, what happens? Now here you see out of the but after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her wan, pale as late winter's moon. Milan, I am explaining you. I am explaining this line only. So they reached the airport, and the poet looked again at her mother, who appeared what? Weak and pale. Wan means what? Weak and pale, just like the moon in the winter season. Here you see, as a late winter's moon. Now, students, you understand this. In the winter season, the sky is very misty, it's hazy, it's very cloudy because it's very cold. On some days, the sun also is not very bright. So, the moon also remains very hazy in the late, that is, in a severe winter nights. The moon will never appear very bright. As for example, you just see after the rainy season, when the weather changes, when it again becomes very hot, you will see a full moon brightly shining in the sky. All right, you will see that bright sun in the moon, sorry, bright moon in the moonlight night. All right, the full moon day night. But in winter, you will see the moon is very hazy. So, how was the mother? The poet, again, when she reached the airport, she saw her mother and she saw that her mother was looking weak and pale, just like the moon in the winter season, which seems to have lost all its strength. The moon in the winter season doesn't shine very brightly. It is the time when the moon also seems that it has lost all its strength. Did you understand, Milan? All right. So she experienced after this line you see. Now, yes, one more thing you see. This line, I looked again at her when I looked again at her when pale as a late winter moon. What is it? That is, this is again a simile. Now, students, you just understand that what is a simile. Simile is when you are comparing two different things. Aren't they different? One is an old lady and another one is late winter's moon. They're totally different. But you see, in a simile, the literary device you see, in a simile, two objects are compared. The comparison is made between two dissimilar objects, but they have some common features. All right, they have some common features like uh, mother is old, she's weak, frail, wan, she is dull like a corpse, and the moon is also dull. But the two objects, the mother and the moon, they are different, they are dissimilar. And in a simile, the poet, of course, when the poet uses the simile, it gives a lot of beauty to the poem. And in a simile, you see, as and like are always used. When again, one little more I'll explain you. When again there is a comparison, but as and like words are not used, then it is a metaphor. All right, then it is a metaphor. But here, the line, I looked again at her wan, pale as word is there, as a late winter's moon is a simile, and felt that old familiar ache. So, when the poet reached the airport and when she saw again the pale face of her mother, of her aged mother, 66 years old mother, then she thought she was looking just like the late winter's moon. And then the poet was again gripped with the same familiar ache. So, what did I give you the meaning for ache? Pain. Right? Ache means pain. So, she again got the same pain, familiar pain, which she got in the childhood. In the childhood time, she used to get frightened. She used to get that pain that she would be lost from her mother. So at this age also, the poet is getting that familiar ache that she will lose her mother forever because the time of death for the mother had come. Clear? Is it clear, students? Is it clear? Okay, let me proceed then. She experienced her childhood fear of losing her mother. Okay, for few moments also. She just could not show her fear and smiled. But what? She could not show her fear to the aged mother. And what did she do? And but what she did, she just said that, see you soon, mother. That she said that they would soon meet. See in the lines of the poem. She got and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. All right. So what did she express? She expressed that see you soon, Amma. So here you can very well follow. In the beginning of the class only I told you that the whole poem is what? One single line. You cannot see a full stop here in the whole poem. This is one single line poem. So she was again gripped with that familiar ache. That was her childhood fear that she was lose her mother again. And but she just did not show her fear and smiled at her mother and said, what did she say? And said that they would soon meet. And then after that, she smiled and smiled and smiled to hide her pain of departing from her mother. What did she do? She just smiled and smiled to hide her ache, to hide her pain of departing from her mother. Departing means what? The last departing. That is the departing with death. Her mother would be dying, and she would depart from her. She would have to leave her mother. She would have to lose her mother. Now the literary devices, students, please follow properly. First one is the assonance. Assonance means here that when we see the use of vowel sound, that is O in the whole sentence. If you see the vowel sound, how many vowels are there? There are five vowels: A, E, O, U. So you see in this line, this is an assonance. Coaching last Friday morning. So O is here. Coaching, morning. All right. Use of vowel sound O, A, E. Doors, open, mouth, her face, ashen, A, like that of, that, A of a. Here, corpse, O. All right. So these are the assonance. Next is simile. Simile. Sorry, there is no I there in between, children. Simile. 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 The color of the mother's face has been compared to that of a corpse. I told you while I was teaching, I was telling you, no, that is a simile, and another simile is when it is compared with the late winter's moon. Use of like, her face ashen like that of a corpse. Mother's face is compared to the, Milan, you asked it, no? Mother's face is compared to the late winter's moon. Both are what? Dull and lifeless. So use of as a late winter's moon. All right, this is a use of simile. Next, you see consonants, use of the sound S and T. Use of the sound S and T. Consonants means what? Use of consonants S and T. Imagery, there are several imagery here you see. Imagery is when the poet say trees sprinting, merry children spilling. All these are imagery. Imagery means what? The a kind of image is given by the poet. That is the trees sprinting. When these words are used, what image you get? What picture you get? That is the trees are running fast. And merry children spilling means merry children coming out of the house. Repetition is there. The word look is repeated. Students, you can see the word look is repeated. The word smile, smile, and smile. All these are repeated. Now, metaphor, as I told you, metaphor is the direct comparison of two things without the use of as or like. Okay? Without the use of as or like. The merry children spilling. This is a metaphor. Personification. Who asked personification? The tree sprinting. Now, who does sprinting? Sprinting means to run, running fast. So, how can trees run? But the human quality sprinting is used for a non-human object like trees. Therefore, it is said to be a personification. Alliteration, use of alliteration is there. It is the repetition of the consonant sounds in a line, that is M, my mother. That thought, TT. I said, was. See you soon. All these are alliteration, S. Rhyme scheme, the poem does not follow any rhyme scheme. No, nothing, no rhythm, no rhyme. What is it called? It is a free verse. In your MCQ, you will be asked what kind of verse it is. It is a free verse. What is a free verse? Free verse means where there is no rhyme scheme. All right. Rhyme scheme you follow, no? The same sound ending lines A, B. We write that way. A, B, C. All these are rhyme schemes. So, students, I hope you all have understood the poem. Do you have any doubt? Then you can ask me. But the whole poem is very, very easy. But there are a lot of literary techniques and lot of explanation you can follow. See the recording also, and you can understand it. Now, today I end this class because there is the entire explanation I've given you. But please don't forget to use my please subscribe the channel. If you have liked the video, please like it and share with your friends. And of course, you take subscription with my referral code NUPUR10. Thank you, students.